Hey, everybody, we're back with the star of the new movie, The Apprentice, Jeremy Strong. You and Sebastian Stan, who plays Donald Trump. Brilliant performances.
Thank you.
And one of the reasons why they're brilliant, one of the ways in which they're brilliant, is not only laying out clearly the moral bankruptcy of these two men, but also that these are very human failings. They're not caricatures. These are real depictions. Some people actually aren't thrilled how humanizing this is, as if being more human is necessarily a better thing. Human beings have all the faults that we're most afraid of. Well, what do you think about that? People say like, oh, don't release it now, it humanizes these two guys. Because there are people on the other side who say, no, don't release it because it'll show what monsters these guys are.
Yeah, I mean, it's very loaded. And the movie narrowly escaped the jaws of being banned in this country, which is, is it Upton Sinclair, that book, It Could Happen Here? Mm-hmm. It's not something that should be happening in this country in this day and age, but it very nearly did. I think it's a dangerous idea that you could portray someone as too human. I think the director, Ali Abbasi, attempted to hold a mirror up to nature, hold a mirror up to these people and to our society. I think it is not a polemic. It is not partisan. I think it's not a pro-Trump movie or an anti-Trump movie. I think it's not trying to tell you who to vote for. I think it's trying to examine these individuals and take them seriously as human beings, which is not something we tend to do. We tend to otherize and demonize and mock these people.
Heaven forbid we should mock them. I'm so sorry.
Well, no, but...
well, thanks for stopping by.
But I was thinking about this coming in here. There's something that William Saroyan wrote in The Time of Your Life. He said, despise evil and ungodliness, but men of ungodliness and evil, these understand. And I think
this film will give you a deeper understanding of who Donald Trump is.
That's the hope.
Based upon your depiction of Roy Cohn. I would like, my own critique is that I would like to have seen more Roy Cohn. Was there more Roy Cohn that you did that we didn't get to see?
Well, we did do, I don't know if I should talk about this.
You definitely should talk about it now.
Roy lived over on East 68th Street, and he had a room full of stuffed frogs and frog figurines. He was a conundrum. He was a very, very vicious, despicable person in a lot of ways. By many considered one of the worst humans of the 20th century. And he was also a kind of arrested, he was sort of like a demonic Peter Pan who never grew up. So we did shoot a scene. I asked the costume designer to go find a full-body frog suit. And I was in my bedroom with Donald, and I sang the entirety of the George Hearn song, I Am What I Am, from La Cage aux Folles, in a frog suit. But it's not in the movie, but I think it should be.
Director's cut.
Director's cut.
Director's cut, eventually. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here,
Thank
Jeremy.
you.
I always love talking to you. The Apprentice is in theaters October 11th, everybody. Jeremy Strong. We'll be right back with Dr. Francis Collins.